Hi, my name's Josh, and I'm a student at the Miami Valley School. Now, we're currently on immersion. Now, immersion is a 4-week period where we get to immerse ourselves in a unique experience that isn't directly related to school. Um, there are two types of immersions: independent immersions and group immersions. I personally wanted to do an independent immersion this year. However, it didn't totally work out, so I had to do a group immersion. Now, on your independent immersion, you can totally personalize it and design your own immersive experience where you can do really anything you want so you can have the best experience for you. On group immersions, though, they're preset, normally designed by teachers and faculty, and you pick one of varying immersions based on what you would like to do. The group immersions vary from building a computer to making things out of recycled materials, to writing, to going to China and the Bahamas. Now, the group immersion I'm on this year is called Peaceful Warrior. So I was kind of bummed about not getting my independent immersion, and I ended up in the Peaceful Warrior immersion. And I thought, this immersion could be cool. It sounds fun. We're going to be doing things like karate, Toshindo specifically, archery, some meditation, and things like that. So it sounded like it could be fun. And that's kind of my mindset I had going in. And the first few days, it was cool. We had some fun things, but there were boring parts. There were things I weren't totally interested in. And I kind of was still, upset that I didn't get my independent. I was like, I have to do this, but at least, it's not all that bad. But then as we progressed, I really kind of began to realize how cool our immersion is. And like doing Toshindo at a dojo down the street from our school. The first day, we did some like pretty basic stuff, and I was thinking, this is all right. It's kind of cool, but at the same time, it can be a little bit boring. And I thought that way until the end of our first session. We were asked to write a journal about our first day and about our first day of immersion and our first day of Toshindo. And I was gonna write. It was just fun, kind of cool, and learned a little bit. But then I really started to think about it, and I thought about how great of an opportunity it was, not just the Toshindo, but the immersion as a whole. And it's something that you really get a lot out of. Now, I personally have a good friend who went through that Toshindo program and earned his black belt in 4th or 5th grade, and he always told me about how great it was and how lucky he was to have taken part in that program and how great it's been for him. And he was really excited that I got to do it for a month, and I was like, oh yeah, it's cool and stuff. But then I really thought about what I could get out of the Toshindo, not just on a shallow level, but what it could really do for me. And I know we started this immersion on January 8th. And one of my New Year's resolutions this year was to really take all my opportunities and make the most of them, get everything I possibly can out of these opportunities that I have. 'Cause I have so many opportunities in my life. A lot of them I take for granted or I just don't think about, and I let these things pass me by. Things I might never get a chance to do again. And this immersion is a great example. Um, so I thought about how I can get the most out of this Toshindo experience, and I wrote it down in my journal about how big of an opportunity it is, and how how cool it can be when you really apply yourself. And I thought about, what if I just totally applied myself? Like, how great would that be? And we not only learn things physically, you not only learn these cool physical techniques, but you're learning how to train yourself mentally, and you're learning techniques you can use in everyday life, and how to be more confident and be courageous and things like that. And that really helped me understand where my friend was coming from when he was saying how great of an opportunity, and how lucky he was to take that program, be a part of that program. And as I began to want to get the most out of that experience, it leaked over into the classroom and other things we were doing during our immersion period. And I was like, how can I get the most out of this immersion in whole, as a whole, not just the Toshindo. And so I began thinking about meditation was one another thing we're doing. I thought, this could be kind of cool, but after the first day, it was terrible. I thought it was terrible. I have ADHD really badly, so I'm crazy hyper. I'm always thinking of a million things at once. It's impossible for me to focus. So it was pretty much torture. I know we maybe only had to sit for 10 minutes, but I had to sit and try to think of nothing, which is an impossible task on itself, let alone sitting still. I can't sit still as it is, let alone sit still and think of nothing. My back was hurting, my legs were sore, and there's all these thoughts, and I was like trying to focus, and it was absolutely impossible. It was terrible. It was so hard for me. But then I thought about, what can I get out of this? And something kind of our teacher talks about. And I was like, it's something I can apply out of context. It doesn't have to just be sitting still meditating. But in practice, if I could, just say before a test, I'm really worried about it and I'm kind of stressing out. I was like, what if I could just, totally forget everything and clear my mind and just be ready for that test. Focus on that test and focus on your preparations for it. And how great would that be? And in sports, before I play, just totally focus. Forget about what your friends told you earlier. Forget about a party you might want to go to. Forget about this homework, this test, this paper you have to write, and just play the sport and be in that moment. That's a big concept we've talked about. Just living in the moment. And we worry about so much. We think about so many other things that we can totally miss the moments that we're in. We regret and we lament on our past, and we worry about what might happen or what could happen in the future, and we totally miss the now. This is our opportunity to make a difference. This is our opportunity to do something to prevent us resenting something in the past, but we totally miss it, and then we waste it, and then we find ourselves looking back on today. We find ourselves tomorrow looking back on today saying, oh, if only this had happened, if only it went this way, when we had a chance to make it go that way and totally passed it up. And this is, it's really cool because it's something I've thought about personally before immersion, and it's like really kind of helped me put into words this and a lot of other things. A lot of ideas I've had, a lot of ideals for me, values, things I like to apply in my life, things I like to live by. This immersion has given me words to put it in, and that really helps solidify it for me. And then with Toshindo, given a physical representation of those words and of those ideas, which really helps solidify it and make it more important and more meaningful for me. And see, also we're doing archery, and I've done archery before. I've done some stuff, and it's always been cool. It's been fun. We're doing this idea of instinctive archery now, which is kind of different. So it's like, oh yeah, that'll be cool. And it's really been great because it's something I want to carry on after immersion. I want to continue to do, and it's an opportunity for me to develop and continue to develop discipline and self-discipline. Even though we're trying to shoot, moving around and not traditionally, standing straight, the whole thing. We want to, be more athletic with it and moving around and having more fun. But at the same time, it's still a great way for me to develop a discipline, and that's something that I can take out of that. And we've been watching the movie and reading the book, The Peaceful Warrior, by Dan Millman, and that's been really cool, and really, I can really relate to that because, the past couple months for me, a lot of stuff's happened, been pretty crazy, pretty hectic. It's a lot of hard things, and coming into immersion, I was kind of all over the place. I was a mess, and it's kind of cool being able to relate to him and his story on his path to become a warrior. It sounds kind of cliche. It's like, oh, we should be true warriors and all, but when you really get to the core of it, which is one thing we've been trying to do, put aside all the jokes and all the things society says about, oh, the true warriors and the true heroes and everything, but and how there aren't true heroes today and how that's not cool or whatever. But looking past all that, getting to the core of it, it's something that I've always something I've always tried to strive towards, and just have the warrior spirit, the warrior's heart, and willing to go out of your way to do anything to protect those that you care about, protect the things you care about, and that whole line of thinking. So it's been really cool for me, reading through and seeing the movie. The movie, I thought was fun at first. Like, oh, it's a cool movie. Then we began to read the book, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be a lot of reading. This is gonna be a pain. But the book is based on the real. It's based on the true story of Dan Millman, and it's been really cool. Just relating his life to mine and seeing how applicable all this stuff's been to me, and how and it's kind of helped me through some of the stuff that's happened the past couple months. So you know, our teacher told us when he assigned these videos. Well, first I wasn't really sure what I was going to talk about. I thought I might say, oh, it's been fun like this, but I didn't know what I was going to say. But then I thought, what's this immersion really been about for me? And so I wanted to do this, kind of free, kind of wing it, freestyle, just so I can really say what's on my mind, really say what I think about it, instead of saying what I think he wants to hear and stuff like that. And it's kind of sounded that way, just what the teacher wants to hear. But this is me being totally honest. How in the beginning I totally saw it as this might be kind of boring, but there'll be some cool stuff. How the meditation was terrible. I hated that first, but I've come to enjoy it and come to find a use for it. And the archery was fun, just get to shoot bow and arrows and stuff. But then I've found a deeper meaning to that. And the Toshindo, how there's some boring parts, so you might learn some cool like karate stuff. But I've really found out how that's really a lot deeper and a lot more meaningful, and how I can make the best of that and get the most out of that. So it's really been kind of weird seeing the transition of my thought process from the beginning of the immersion to now. And I'm really looking forward now to the next 3 weeks of this immersion, and I can't wait for what's in store. I'm really excited to see what all I can learn, and everything I can get out of it. I'm a lifelong learner kind of guy, and I'm just really excited. And I think these are things I can carry on, not just through immersion, not just through high school, not just through college, but long into my life, and some things that I can live by and help me throughout my life, and maybe even things I can pass on. So I was pretty bummed about not getting my independent immersion, but now I'm thinking this one is probably a lot better for me, and I can do my independent next year. But yeah, it's been a great experience, and I can't wait to continue and see what all we learn moving forward. So yeah, this has been our first week of Peaceful Warrior Immersion at MVS. Thanks.